Hi, and welcome to the next edition of Tech Tip Tuesday. Today, I'm joined by none other than Joe Garay. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for joining me again here today, Joe. I really appreciate it. Today, what we really wanted to talk to you about was all the different device types you can have in the Teams environment. So there's a whole list of different device types you can have in the Teams environment, and they're all subtly different in how they work and what they do. So we wanted to kind of talk through that stack. And the first one we want to talk about is the Teams Room devices. Now on Windows or on Android. Joe, could you tell us what Teams Room might be or what it might look like?
Sure. A Teams Room could be either PC, a Windows IoT device, or Android's device, and it boots in a kiosk mode where Microsoft Teams in the room is being utilized as the application, right? So what does that mean? That means that it's a resource account that's associated to the room, and it either has a license for basic or pro, right? As a resource account, I invite the device to the call, right? And it'll call into Teams. That is what a Microsoft Teams room is defined as.
Excellent. Well, so that was pretty straightforward, and I'm fairly certain people are generally familiar with that device type. The rest of them might not be quite as familiar. The next one I wanted to talk about was none other than the vaunted Surface Hub. Could you tell us about the Surface Hubs?
Yeah, the Surface Hubs basically was a device from Microsoft that was all-in-one encompassing device. Basically, the microphone, speakers, and display all integrated into a touchscreen. Now, there's two models. It's a 55 and an 85 around there. And it runs its own version of Windows. And the new thing about coming out that actually came out today was the Surface Hub 3 was just announced today. More information on that to come. I just saw the announcement myself. I'll be reading it to let you guys know what I think about it.
The next set of devices, which is probably one of the ones that gets confused fairly easily, is a Microsoft Teams panel. What the heck is a Microsoft Teams panel?
Okay, so we're talking about the panel that sits out of the room that is being used to schedule the room, but it's the same resource that you're using for both the panel and the MTR, right? But it's strictly just the calendar that sits outside the room, and it displays when the room is in a call, out of a call, as well as sits idle. So there's usually these panels have color codes or bar LEDs that basically give you a red, green, or a neutral color for not being in a call.
I guess I did understand those. I just didn't realize they were called Microsoft Teams panels. So thank you for that. The next big one is Microsoft Teams displays. What is a Microsoft Teams display?
Not to be confused with digital display. The display is basically personal usage displays on desktops. So for a good example, what we just came out with was the ThinkSmart View Plus.
So Microsoft Teams display would definitely be more of a personal device, is what you're saying.
Very, very much so. So it would require a personal license as well as an E3 or E5 license because you want to have some kind of dial function, PBX motion or dial out SIP, right? Traditional POTS line. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so the last category for the Microsoft Teams stack is SIP devices. What do you know? I mean, I know you know a lot about SIP devices, but what do you know about SIP devices in the Microsoft stack?
All right, on the Microsoft environment, SIP devices can be broken down into different, oddly enough, different devices. We're talking about regular personal phones, common area phones, SIP gateways that do conversions between inside organization dialing and outside for like carrier, right? Conference rooms, right? All of which fall under that category. The SIP device configuration is basically traditional SIP configuration, meaning that it's looking the device via MAC address. So that's how we usually configure those devices.
So that kind of thing would be more like, say I had some older phones that I knew were SIP capable, but I wasn't quite sure what to do with them, but I wanted Teams phones. I could probably integrate that with the SIP devices stack. Is that about right?
That is very true. There's dependencies in regards to what software version, in regards to what model. Microsoft training page, right? It'll give you a list of what carriers or what manufacturers are supported for what models and what versions. But they are specific, so take a look. But yeah.
So there you have it. There's all our device stack from the Microsoft Teams environment. You have the Microsoft Teams rooms, whether that be on Windows or Android. You have the Microsoft Teams Surface Hub. You have the Microsoft Teams panels, Microsoft Teams displays, and the Microsoft Teams SIP devices. All different categories of devices, all of them subtly different, and no two should be the same. So Joe, I got an odd question here, and that question is, if I were to get a Teams display, for instance, could I make it into a Teams room system? So essentially, could I change what the device type actually is?
Very good question, and the answer is no. The reason being is the devices go through certification as a manufacturer made it, right? And during that certification, they qualify the device of what it could be entitled to, right? For example, our ThinkSmart View Plus, it could be a personal device as well as a shared device, but it cannot be an MTR device.
So it would always be a Teams display, but never an MTR.
Correct.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Joe, and I appreciate you joining me here today. I love working with you, man. Let's keep it up. And I think I was on a call earlier with you today where somebody said you're a new YouTube star, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Mark, but I wouldn't be a YouTube star without you, brother. You have a good one.
Well, thank you, Joe, for being here with me again, and thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, go and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're at it, leave us some comments. I love reading the comments. But until I get to see you next time, I guess I'll see you then.
See ya.